If you want to create more melodic solos, there's no better guide than Jerry Garcia. And after diving deep into Jerry's playing, I discovered the secret that made his solos shine. So in this video, I'll break down 3 essential steps to incorporate Jerry's melodic approach into your own playing the next time you pick up your guitar. So step number 1 is so easy you can apply it right away. So we're gonna use After Midnight as an example of how to use all this stuff. So let's listen to me just playing with a backing track using this approach, and then I'll show you what's going on. So first off, what's going on musically? We are playing in E, right? It's E7, G, A is the main part of the tune, and there's another one we'll get to a little bit later. And so this is not normally the key of E, this is more of a blues thing, so we can actually use the blues scale, which is the same thing as the E minor pentatonic, right? And we'll do it up here. And you just throw in that blues note if you want, right? And in this position, you'd have it all like this, right? And that's all you need, really. That's all you need to get going and make some great, melodies and things like that. But to make it even more melodic and more like you're playing with a tune, all I was doing was throwing in the major third of E, which is a G sharp, when we were on that chord, which was most of the time, right? So you'd have the scale like this, and then you add that note right there. So you'd actually, if you're playing the full blues scale here, you'd have 4 notes right in a row on that string there, right? Which you don't have to play them, we don't want to just be going up and down the scale per se, right? But just throwing that note in there, when it happens, it makes it much more melodic. You're connected with the chord, and a lot of times you might want to play that minor third first and then hammer into it, play it normally, maybe bend it, right? So that is all you gotta do to get a little bit more melodic, something Jerry would do all the time in his playing. But let's check out the next one. So that was just a classic Jerry approach of playing right along with the chords. So in this part, it's going G, A to B, and we can actually make these sevenths if we want to, like dominant sevenths, G7, A7, B7, we'll look at that more in a second. And all I was doing was taking these shapes right here. So if you look at G right here, and if you know the cage system, this would be the A shape, right? Like this, or the G shape, like that. However you want to think of it, because I'm just playing these 3 notes right here. So it's just it's a triad, right? So just the 3 notes that make up that chord, moving it up, it's all the same, right? But I was actually just playing the top 2. So you could play all 3, you could play the outer ones, you could play the bottom 2, doesn't matter, but it's just playing some of those notes, even just one of those chord tones as they're happening. It's gonna make you just connect right with the progression and make you sound much more melodic. And then what I was doing, I was playing these top 2, and then I started off with the E7 like this, and then I did this for G, and then threw this note in here, and that makes it a G7, and I did the same for the A. And then did something, I don't know, I was just making it up there, but you could just keep it simple and do the same thing for B. This to B7 there. So you'd have G, G7, A, A7, B, B7. But you don't even need those sevenths, but it's all the same, just symmetrical stuff. But the idea is you're going through here, and then you start connecting with the chord, connecting with the chord, connecting. And then you're back to, you could be back to that position, and that's going to make you so much more melodic, And, we're getting a glimpse of how Jerry approached soloing very melodically. But if you want to dive even deeper than we have so far in this video, check out the Jerry Garcia 5-day challenge. Not only do I kind of peel back the layers even more, we go much deeper with these tactics of how he approached soloing in general and how to apply it yourself to your own playing to kind of develop your own sound. So if you want to know more, just check out the link in the description I put down below. So step number 3, this is the step to kind of rule them all. It is really the most important, and In a way, the most obvious, but not the easiest to do. We will look at some ways around that in a second, but let's first just listen to, what it is. So something Jerry would do all the time to be very melodic was, of course, just play the melody, that vocal melody, right? So he every tune, he just knew that inside and out, different places in the fretboard, and could just, play it and incorporate it into his playing or not, but it's there. It is the best way, of course, to be melodic, but also to connect to a specific song you're playing, so it doesn't just sound like you're just playing any old thing or you're playing exercises. And it's just going to connect you to those chord tones a lot, because that's often what's in a melody, is their notes, not just of like a key of the scale that you're playing in, but the chord tones as they're happening. So I cannot stress how important it is to learn the melody of songs that you're learning, but I know that it is challenging. It may be the easiest way to get to being your playing being more melodic, but it's not the easiest thing to do, because there's not a lot of places where you can find them written out and things like that, although I do it quite a bit. And if you're looking for it on my Patreon page, I've got endless amounts of charts with melodies for lots of Grateful Dead songs and others where the melody's written out. But you have to kind of use your ear for the most of the time and figure it out yourself, which is one of the best things to just get more melodic and get better in general. But I understand it's not easy. I used to struggle with it quite a bit. So it's not the easiest thing to do if your ear isn't kind of able to do it right now, but you eventually will be able to. You just got to kind of keep at it and just really focus in on what the vocals are doing, and you will eventually, get there. And Jerry's approach to soloing in such a melodic way, it's improved my playing so much, but just doing this alone isn't enough. There's something else we can learn from that will really kind of bring it all together. So check out this video here where I show you what it is and how you can use it to improve your solos even more.